Hey, fourth grade, ready for your art lesson with your friendly neighborhood art teacher? A few weeks ago, we started looking at a art contest for young people, K through 12, about endangered species. You and I went over some endangered species in Georgia and we picked one. And I know some of you have been trying to say, when are we going to start drawing them? We're almost there. We've practiced texture and we've practiced value, but I want you guys to start looking at another way to combine these things before we really get started on it. So we are going to take a recap. Remember, we've looked on we worked with texture. There's two types of actual texture in artwork. There's real texture, which is how something really feels, and then there's implied texture, which is how something looks like it would feel. That cactus would really hurt if you touched it, but if you touch a picture of a cactus, it's just going to feel smooth because it's a picture. Then and this was just last week, practice doing smaller examples of texture. We have like smooth textures, bumpy and rough and fluffy and fuzzy, and many different types of textures. And you guys picked a few that you practiced. Then we've also talked about value. And I know some of y'all getting tired of hearing me talk about value, but this was probably the question that you guys missed the most on our quiz. So value is the darkness to lightness of a color. It also has to do with shading. You can see this example here where the flashlight shows you where the light is coming from, and the artist adds more and more lines to the back of the cube and the ball to create shadow. Well, that's what you're going to be practicing with today. We've practiced shading, but only in the techniques. You know what a crosshatch you should know what crosshatching technique is. You should know what stippling. You should know what the other parts that the other kinds of shading are. But this time we're going to do that with some actual pictures. I've got two pictures. We have a cube, or there's a sphere. You need to pick one of them, and you are going to draw the picture that you see. So again, you're going to have a cube, or you will have the sphere, and you will need to pause the video on the one that you want to use. I am going to use the cube for my demonstration. So when you are looking at an object, you want to try and make sure for this to fill up your page. Please don't do a tiny little cube or sphere. You need to do big. Now, these are not perfectly straight squares. If you look at it, that square is actually slanted, so not like that. You're going to draw them. There's a little bit of a slant. We go down, and this line should be parallel with the one up top. Pretty sure that's a word you guys have been learning in your classes, parallel. So then I'll do the same thing on this side. And up. And then all I have to do for the last part is, ta-da! Now, I know you know how to draw a cube. That's not what I'm worried about. I know that you guys will be able to draw the sphere or a circle. It's the shading that I want you to practice on this one. There are three faces to our cube here. There's this face, and the top face. You can also call them planes. I'm used to calling them faces. Each one of these has a different value. When you look at this one, the value is all what? It is all white on my example. This value, is it a dark gray or a light gray? It is a light gray. And this one is a light or dark or white. This is the darkest value. It's not the only place that has a dark value though. Also on that side. So I'm going to start, I mean, I don't have to do anything with that one. That one's easy. But I'm going to use my pencil. I'm not going to hold it at the bottom. I'm going to hold it back here. Because the farther away you hold your pencil, the lighter you draw. And I'm going to color a light gray on that top box, or that top face. And if I mess up anything, ta-da, I got an eraser, easy. So this one is going to be the darker one. Now I am going to hold my pencil closer, because it makes it easier for me to press down more. I'm going to make that one a darker gray, a darker value. Now this is not the darkest value in this picture. Is there anyone who thinks they can look and tell me where the darkest value on this picture is? It is directly underneath this. You can actually see that in the picture. There's still a dark value on this side. Now I told you that there was a shadow on the ground, so I'm going to make a little bit of the gray come underneath. And my students who are really observant notice that there's actually an even a little bit more gray on this side too. If you are coloring and it's too dark, take your eraser and erase it a little bit and make it even lighter. I would like it if you added the background like that. I mean, it makes it easier, lets you know where things are. So that's what you're going to be working on today. You're either going to pick the cube or the circle, whichever one you think is easier for you. I'm sorry, the cube or the sphere. So if you need to, you can go back through the video and you can look at here's the picture of the cube again, or you can pause on the sphere. You're going to pick one, draw it, shade it, and put it in the Google assignment that you will have on your classroom. That's it. Thanks, guys.